And on our YouTube channel, welcome, and we're glad we have you on board. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Freeman.
Here.
Mrs. Gator.
Here.
Mrs. Newman.
Here.
Mr. Roberts. Here. Ms. Mitchell.
Here, all members are here and accounted for. We can stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, we can have a motion on the agenda to approve item 1.3. Approval of the agenda, but before we do that, just to make sure, do we need to add anything or remove anything from tonight's agenda? Dr. Rock, Mr. Bell?
No.
Board? You have a motion on the floor?
Madam Chair, I move for approval of tonight's agenda, regular board meeting.
We have a second. It is the move and properly seconded. Board is in able discussion. I am hearing none. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gator.
Yes.
Mrs. Newman.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. We have a motion on the floor to approve item 1.4, approval of the meeting minutes for October 20th, November 3rd, November 13th, November 17th, November 23rd, and December 1st, all in the year 2021.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept all of the minutes as listed from October 20th and December 1st, 2021.
Thank you, ma'am. May I have a second?
Board members to unmute their mics. They can't hear.
Sorry, we
Online.
are so sorry.
Okay.
The blue button.
Check.
Can you, and Jonathan, if you see any notes on the YouTube channel that people are struggling to hear us with the mask, can you just send Jolly a text? Thank you, sir. All right, Dr. Rock, I think we were ready to call the roll, please.
Mrs. Newman.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Mrs. Gator.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Next on our agenda, and just want to say, Dr. Rock, thank you so very much for getting all the notes, the meeting minutes caught up for the balance for this year. Next on our agenda is item 1.5, public participation. We don't have anyone who has joined us in person. Mr. Dolly, did we get any emails? No
No.
emails? Well, I hope that means everything is going well. Next on the agenda is the superintendent report, and following that, it will be the treasurer's report. So I will hand the meeting over to both Mr. Jolly and then to Dr. Rock.
Yes, I appreciate everyone here today, and thank you as we wind down for the holiday break. Today I have some exciting news about our third grade, and then share some construction updates and some various things. Last week we received our third grade scores for mid-year, and we are very excited about where our kids have landed. As you can see, our progression from third grade, pre-COVID, we were at 5%. This is when they take the test in October. 16, we're at 9%. We go up in 17 to 20%. And 18, we're at 29%. This is pre-COVID with kids in school every day and so forth. And we peaked in 2019 at the 41%. That's when we were on our way to our B grade. This year, and everyone, we anticipated, because you got to think these third graders were in first grade when the pandemic hit. We had 26% of them pass the test in October. So that's almost our pre-pandemic number in 18 as we were on our journey up. So I truly commend the principals, the team at the elementary school, the kindergarten, the second grade team, the third grade team, for their outstanding work. Our curriculum team, our new data and instruction person, Miss Shannon, I'm sorry, my mind is just gone. But yeah, Dr. Caver, Roxanne, and that whole team, because all the things we did, the extended school year, we did fourth quarter interventions, um, all those things that we invested in, you see the results in this. Now everybody say, well, 26% is low. If you look at our progression, and these are kids with big gaps, huge gaps in their education, we've almost closed the gap from the 2018. And then currently 67% of all third graders have met the third grade guarantee. But that means that they've scored, they have an equivalent score that will pass into the next grade. So this is our preliminary data, but it shows that the efforts that the district has made, the payoff from all the things that we've done is evident in the data. So I just wanted to show you that because I'm very excited about it. You know, if we come to you with all these different plans, and remember we had the principals do their intervention plans. We came and did it last year online. We did, you know, we brought the kids back January 25th, and then we had them do fourth quarter intervention plans. We did the extended day plan. Then we did the operation catch up where we hired extra teachers so that we could provide intervention. All these things pay off. So when people ask about the data, here's the data. This is the 100% African American district who has closed in the pandemic. We almost pre-pandemic numbers, and this is only half the year. So just imagine what we'll look like in March. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think it's great news. It's a testimony to our staff. It's a testimony to the work that they do, and it just shows that what we're doing is working. So I just want you and the public to be aware of how great our staff is at the elementary school. Any questions about the data?
Just want to take a moment, if we can, to give a hand of applause to the educators, the administrators, your team. That's great work.
It's a total team effort. Our next slide is about our construction update, just getting everyone an update of where we are. So the middle school abatement is completed. They're done with the middle school. The demo equipment is on the site. So they're there. They're going to wait till January 10th. They didn't want any breaks because of the holiday. Once they start working, they want to just get it done as soon as possible. And then the Eastwood abatement started this week. So they're over at Eastwood. We gave up possession of Eastwood to the abatement company. They will be putting a fence around it in January. And then from there, at the end of January, the demo of Eastwood will begin. The city did call today about Eastwood property, and we will have to have further discussions about that area because there's some potential suitors for that. Some potential suitors, some people that want to look at that property. So the board will have some conversations possibly about it. And then the new middle high school is currently on schedule. So that's the building of the high school. It's currently on schedule. So we do have some bad news, and John can go to the next slide. The stadium update, and I did share with the board earlier this week what's going on with the stadium. So, you know, initially it was planned that the stadium would be ready in this summer, the summer of 22. So we were trying to, remember we came to the board and said we were going to bid the aluminum bleachers and so forth. And we attempted to, but the numbers have came back so high that the budget it puts our budget out of whack. So, Jonathan, next slide. And I'm just paraphrasing. But they were way higher than the estimates than we anticipated. So we anticipated the stadium would cost about $4 million. The stadium came in at $5+, almost $6 million. The total project was $11 million, which we only had about $7 million budgeted for it. So, next slide, Jonathan. So what we want to do now, and they basically said it's a 20% increase in cost for all the things for the stadium. So what we want to do now is hold off on the stadium, try to rebid everything out to see if we get better prices, and then the stadium. Next slide, Jonathan. Stadium will be ready when the school opens. So I've already informed Swift that the stadium will not be ready for 22, so our football games will be on the road again, and then we will go back to the architects, like I'll give you an example, the lights of the new stadium, or the lights, they had the lights like college grade lights. Some of the specs were too high. Like they put, again, we talk about Cadillac and Chevy and a Pinto. You know, it's all Cadillacs in the plan. So that's why our architect and Doug and them believe that the prices were kind of high because it was all Cadillac prices. So they're gonna go back, look at the project again, look at some of the things, and give us a medium grade, or so we could pick between a medium grade and a lower grade or whatever for various things, and hopefully and preferably we will get it within our price range, and then they will have it done at the same time. One of the issues that we face is a logistics issue with them trying to build the school and the stadium at the same time, moving things around. So this is little upsetting about it. We got some people that won't be able to play home as seniors, and some people have been in play home since they were freshmen. And that was our goal, to get everybody who go through our high school opportunity to have a home game in Warrensville. But due to the pricing and other factors, we won't be able to make that happen at this time. All right, next slide, John. I just wanted to show you some progress of the building. We would like to take the board over to the building to take a look at what's going on. Top picture is the high school wing. So that is where the high school would be at, 3 stories, that they're completing now. They are actually pouring the slab down for that area as we speak. They will, and starting to put the roof on. So the roof, and after the break, the roof is, the steel that delayed the project will be coming in. Next slide, Jonathan. And this is how the floors look inside. You see how they were putting the floors in the building, the learning stairs. It's coming along. Next slide. The athletic area, this area that you see here, is where the wrestling rooms and things will be at, in the back of the gym. So that's the athletic area. The auditorium, as you can see, that's the stage that you see there. The middle school dining area, that is the opposite of the main dining area. It's like a kitchen between there that they haven't started to develop yet. And then that is the arena. It doesn't look like an arena yet, but it's on its way. And then COVID testing tomorrow. Our Human Resources Department and Mr. Wilson arranged to have COVID testing tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 at the rec center for any employee, student, parent, whoever wants tested. And what we're looking to do is have it every Thursday at the rec center from 10 to 2. As this spike goes up and things happen, we want to be able to test people and be able to exclude people as much as possible. One of the things that and I sent an email out yesterday, is that we do have a lot of kids out, but the kids are not out because they have COVID. They're out because their parents have it. And part of that process is, if kids can't quarantine themselves or isolate themselves, then they got to be quarantined too. So the kids are not coming back with positive tests, but their parents are. And part of that process is that we exclude the whole house. So that's what's happening now. It's an uptick with the adults in the community is catching it. If we see large numbers like Euclid High School had 26 at the high school, then we will make the appropriate decision to go remote. The decision to postpone coming back after the break is based upon what we're seeing. Prayerfully, we will have testing during that week for everybody so that we can come back comfortably after Thanksgiving. We'll know who has it, who don't have it, or whatever, and then we'll be able to plan accordingly. So that concludes my report for today. Again, and I do want to talk about, I know there's a lot of concern about the elementary school and the amount of kids that's in the elementary school moving forward. I just want, the board to know that we're working on a lot of options to bring to you to try to alleviate that issue. That will come in later, but we're working on a lot of different scenarios in which we could relieve that pressure.
Okay.
Are there any questions about my report today?
Don't have any questions?
Great report.
Thank you for a great report. Dr. Rock, you want to go on and take over item 1.7?
So tonight I wanted to do a bond finance review, as we discussed in prior meetings. Bonds are utilized to finance the new facilities in the master plan. And there's two types of bonds. There's general obligation bond, and this is where investors purchase the bond and then the investor is paid interest in return and principal upon maturity. And then there's certificates of participation, and these are also sold to investors, but they purchase the bonds but have an ownership in the building until the certificates are paid off. And the certificates, again, those pay interest and principal upon maturity. So how does it work? So the district sells the bonds through a bank underwriter. Investors purchase the bonds. The bank accumulates the money from the investors, and then the district gets all of those proceeds and use that to construct the buildings. And then the district makes an interest and principal payment for a determined term. So this is the 2015 bond. This is our original bond, and this was part of the finance model. And this was an obstacle that we had to come across because we had to still pay off the old bond before we started interacting with the new bonds. So the old bond, you can see it'll be paid off in fiscal year 2025. And so there's 4 years of payments to go, including this year. So this year we've already made our December payment. So we will have a springtime payment go out this year, and then there'll be 3 more years, so 3.5 years to go on the old bond.